Turn that shit off. Take it the fuck.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
He's like got that
what
trap
just
music.
happened? What the fuck?
Right.
It actually came in fine for me for once. Holy shit.
If we were all characters in the Goonies, your intro would be flawed.
Here we go, guys. Welcome to the dump.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right. So it is Wednesday night. It is the Humpty Dump edition of the dump. I am in a hotel room, and guess when you have, two big guests on your channel. Yes, Nerd Cookies, you're a big channel too. Ryan is a big channel. Hotel Wi-Fi and your hotspot just doesn't work. So welcome to the Slumville, the dump. Tonight we have, like I just said, we have special guest Ryan Kinel. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to be here. I really hope that your internet holds out because I want to be able to participate in this entire fucking thing. We got a lot of good things to talk about. All of a sudden, it seems like Star Wars news. It's like a desert, and all of a sudden we've found the oasis where it's just nonstop Star Wars news the past week and a half. So we got some good things to talk about.
Unfortunately, it's an oasis of piss.
Well, yeah, it's true.
That was good.
That's not an oasis.
That's not an oasis, dude. That's
it's a toilet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's an oasis of hate. Oasis of garbage.
It's an oasis of neus.
Oh, okay.
Like we haven't had any.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's fucking good news.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
But it is definitely like I felt like I was just reaching for any Star Wars news on my channel for weeks. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, Pedro Pascal decides to go nuclear. All of a sudden people start turning on the Mandalorian. Leslye Headland information comes out.
Oh my God.
George Lucas Star Wars sequel trilogy potential plot leak. Like all of a sudden it's a lot.
I don't know about you guys, but I was looking forward to some Leslye Headland.
Would you call it a plethora of articles?
Yeah. Cornucopia even. A
cornucopia. Wow. I was going with a little Three Amigos there, but that was good. All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for being here. And directly below me, we have the great Elaine from Nerd Cookies.
I see how it is here. The biggest channels get the first shout outs. When it's on my channel, we go in rotation, but for you, it's ass kissing all the time. For me,
I go, no, it's not ass kissing. It's called Steven. I know how to do this thing. You don't show people respect, you son of a bitch. Nerd Cookies, how are you?
I'm good.
Great,
I'm really good. I'm glad I could make it this time.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Thanks for being here. It's going to be fun tonight. A lot of fun. One of my usual panelists that doesn't bust my balls like the freaking guy next to me, Jayne Theory. How are you tonight?
Hey, doing great. Happy to be here.
Jayne, you couldn't just for one jump out and say, hey guys, and then bust his balls?
No.
No, she doesn't roll like that. Shut up. And and our version of Perry Chan is Culture Casino. How are you, sir?
Hey, the discount Perry Chan, I'll take it. That's if that's the best you've got for me, Scott. Anyway, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today, and be well, America.
Yeah, very good advice, and I was giving you a compliment. So thank you, Culture. And last but not least, the Astorian of the Fandom Menace. He calls himself an author. I beg to differ. Stephen Walton.
How you doing, guys? Hail to the chat. Thank you for coming here. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And let's get this shit show started. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do that. First, we'll say hello to the chat real quick. And right off the rip, Emotionally Unstable Amphibian. I believe you were already a member, so I don't know if you upgraded or not, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
That is an awesome
That is
name.
Awesome. And see, this is how fandoms work. Terry Rose says, Moria Kitty sent me. So people, talking about other channels, helping other channels out. So Moria, thank you. If you guys aren't subscribed to her, please check her out. She follows all the same content. We all run in different circles, but kind of, so how do you call it, Steven? We all sit at different lunch
Moira
tables.
came up with the lunch table. There's a huge lunchroom in YouTube, and there's different periods in that lunchroom, and we all have different tables. That's how she put it. And I thought it was a good analogy.
I don't get no period, dude.
Yeah, I prefer to think of it as an internet gang.
It's a lot tougher. I see where you're going with that
analogy.
Like the Jets.
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing about periods, man. Why do you got to go there?
I'm sorry, I was watching too much Brie Larson.
Oh, that's not a rag I want to talk about. The Time Prophet. Hail, Terry Rose. Who else we have? I'm just going to read them out real quick. We have Brutal Morningwood, McKinney 90, Optic Racer 21. Hail to you. And a bunch of other people, Moria Kitty, and just goes down the list. And definitely Tina Bojan. She is a member. If you want to become a member, follow the link on my channel and support so I can get a better computer. Yeah, that's your job, people. Bone is here. Darren, like my father before me. Angela Straven. Roof Korean 92, one of my favorite names. And we're going to move on. So this is a Star Wars themed dump. I'm sick of talking politics at all. I don't want to talk about the government at all.
Then why are we talking about Star Wars?
Well, we're talking about how much we hate Star Wars. Now, let me rephrase that. We could talk about the politics that go into Star Wars. I understand that. Let's leave the presidency out of it for now. Let us bring up the first article. Steven's going to read it for us, and then we'll see what the title says, see if we can even get past that.
So before we found out, actually, just before we even started, that Ryan found this article first. So shout out to Ryan.
Ryan,
this is Gina Carano continues to suck while Pedro Pascal keeps our crush on him pure by Christie Puchko.
Steven, could I ask you a question? Do you think which way do you think she leans? Which way? Is she more liberal or is she more conservative? Like, what do you think of that person just from that title?
I think she tucks it up back between her ass cheeks.
Yeah, shriveled and a little to the left. Is that the correct answer?
I think that she went. I think she went all the way and got the full snip, but that's all right.
Oh,
post op.
That's dedication. That's dedication.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right,
leaning into
begin the reading, Steven. Yes, sir.
Sure. All right. Gina Carano is a transphobe.
That's the first lie. So they just start out with a lie then.
Yeah, can we just stop right there? Just stop right there.
That's the entire article.
Jayne, what do you think when you read that first line?
She's full of it. Simple as that. I mean, there is absolutely nothing that Gina has ever posted to suggest that she's a transphobe at all. They just read into every single thing that she does as if it's an attack on them personally. This is just nonsense.
Right.
Or what she
and they
does.
can't even post an example of it. Exactly. You know, and that's even worse. That they're like, well, she won't do this or she won't say that. She doesn't have to. This is just ridiculous.
Well, I think you got a point there. It's one of those things where if you just stay silent now, it's not good enough for these people.
Violence.
There you go. That's perfect, Ryan. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Say it, Steven.
It's not consent.
Well, not. Well, it is. In a way, it is. If you stay silent, then they just assume you're going against what their philosophy is, their agenda is. And the truth of the matter is you might agree with them. You just don't want to publicly say it, or you don't agree with them and you don't want to get into it, or you just are a personal person. She seems like she was really the type that you never saw her in the media doing anything crazy. She never had paparazzi. She seemed like she was a private person, and they just dragged her into the forefront when they decided to go after her.
They would say things like, just put pronouns in your bio already. No, she doesn't have to.
I think that
all of these people are Pedro Pascal fans. That's who all of the fucking people that are constantly in her mentions are. They are, for the most part, I think between the ages of 16 and 19. None of them know which gender they are. Nearly all of them have like some sort of a fictional character as their avatar. They're troubled individuals. And yeah, they want her to say something that she's just not going to do. And the first couple things they say here in this article are lies. She's a transphobe, never seen anything. She thinks COVID numbers and the election count are a conspiracy against Donald Trump. Neither of those things she's ever said. Now you can take what she said and who she follows and what she likes and extrapolate from there if you want. But she's never said I support Donald Trump. She's never said that she thinks COVID is a hoax. What she did say was that she thinks that some of the measures we're taking are pretty hypocritical, which I would say that a lot of people can look and a lot of sane people can look and say the same thing, whether you think we should continue those measures or not. But this article is full of lies. And then when it comes to Pedro, they omit certain things, which we'll get to.
Right. Honestly, I think it comes down to this is the type of fan that have been attracted to Star Wars at this point by the people that work there and the things they've said online and social media and the way that they've inferred how they're presenting their creativity, if that's what you want to call it. This is the type of fan that's been generated at Disney Lucasfilm. So it's I think this speaks more to what the type of customer they have attracted for their brand and how they view anyone else outside of their little collective, which is strange because we Star Wars fans who've been around for decades.
Steven, hold on for a second. People are writing that all they see is a black screen. I don't know if they're being honest or people are saying something happened to the.
It's your internet, bro.
How is that my?
I see it on my phone just fine.
I see it
okay,
fine.
I'm just it's not my internet, moron. I'm not producing this website.
Please keep it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, so
that's what she said.
Go on. Yes. Steven, go on
about?
with your whatever long-winded answer Steven had. Go on.
I'm just going to read through it. Okay. Gina Carano thinks the COVID numbers of the election count is a conspiracy against Donald Trump. We all know this because of how she's been behaving on social media, mocking, putting pronouns in bios.
Behaving. It's interesting that they say behaving a certain way. Not that she said it, not that she advocated for something in particular, but because she doesn't conform to the behavior that they want to see.
Right. Well, you have to kneel. They have to see you kneeling is what it is. They have to see you capitulate to their ideology or you're questionable. And if you're questionable, you might get on that list. Mocking, putting pronouns in bio of why isn't everyone mocking that? I don't understand.
They are.
Right. Spreading?
Yeah. Well, and the thing, what's happening? Everybody all right?
No, but I was going to keep reading.
Oh no! What I was going to just say is, she mocked them to show the absurdity of what is going on, and it wasn't even really mocking. She just said, "I could put anything up here, and it can mean something to you, but different to me." Like they want us all to put the right pronouns. Like it's gonna, soon enough. That's the wrong pronoun. You have to have Z, not he. You have to have this or that. And she was just showing the stupidity of this herd mentality to do it. It's ridiculous.
They're ribbon bullies.
Okay. I don't even think she was mocking them. I think she was they were trying to make her put something in her bio. So she put something in there.
Yes.
Right.
They just didn't like it. She wasn't mocking the people who do it for whatever reason they think is legitimate. She was basically responding or reacting to the people attacking her constantly about not having something there.
Right. Nerd Cookies, were you going to say something?
I was just saying they're ribbon bullies.
Ribbon bullies?
Do you remember that from Seinfeld? Or Kramer would put on the ribbon for
oh my god,
that walk for AIDS or something like that.
Yes,
that was one of the best. Why do I have to wear the ribbon? Just wear the ribbon.
He would not bow down.
Though they were getting really mad. Oh, I wish we could have that clip. That's awesome. That's what this is. Don't be a ribbon bully.
All right.
Nerd
Cookies said it. Don't be a ribbon bully. Spreading GOP conspiracy theories about rampant voter fraud and COVID being a political hoax. It is a political hoax. While linking tweets from Ben Shapiro and James Woods. Just last week, she was at it again. Liking a tweet? How is liking a tweet?
Well, it's also Steven, it's the way she said it too. She said she wrote it as "at it again." Like this is her tactic. She retweets these horrible human beings or some shit, and this is her tactic. She's at it again.
Gotcha.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, here's a tweet from Gina. She says, we need to clean up the election process so we are not left feeling the way we do today. I agree with that. Put laws in place that protect against voter fraud, investigate every state, film the counting, flush out the fake votes, require ID, make voter fraud end in 2020, fix the system. I completely agree with that.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, I think we can all look at that and maybe make some assumptions about who she supports. But at the end of the day, she's not outwardly supporting anyone. She's not telling anybody else to go fuck off if they voted for somebody else. Like, she's simply saying, hey, we should probably make sure that everybody feels comfortable with the election process.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. That's the one thing we need to walk away from all of this. As Jayne puts it, let the system do its job. If there's any, let the courts handle what they need to handle, and then hopefully it'll, we'll have a better system the next time.
But I think this is where the hypocrisy comes into play too, though, because in 2016, this is exactly word for word what Democrats would have been saying, because they were complaining about issues with the machines and possible involvement of foreign entities and things like that.
Right.
So this is something we agree on, but because people have to be at odds constantly, they can't even just agree on the thing they agree on. It's insane.
Well, Jayne, if we're at odds, then we don't focus on them as much. But the problem is she points out the hypocrisy, I think, of it. There's that girl who was in the OC that came out recently on Instagram. Yeah. She, and right away people said she lost her mind. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's a great
I don't need to see Borat yet.
The hell is that?
Yeah.
He's wearing a mask.
That's great.
Yeah, he is wearing a mask.
That's hilarious.
We can tell from the ads that are loading what Steven is into. That's all.
Be thankful for those who can't see it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Be thankful.
Oh God. Well, I don't even know what the hell I was going to say now. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Read on.
Distracted by my raging erection.
$2 from Culture Casino. Finally loaded it. You need internet gas. Come on, man. And it's coming soon, people. When I get home, I am building a computer, and you won't be able to make fun of me for that ever again. Makini90 for $5. The artist of the Fandom Menace. Scott, for some weird reason, some of us in the chat can't get the stream to load. That's I don't want to talk conspiracy or anything, but it could be the man trying to hold me down because, they don't like giving me subs. They just like taking them away. And now they're trying to crush my dreams of streaming with people.
Scott's loads have always had problems anyway. So
I don't see
yeah.
No, I think it's YouTube might be having issues.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully, stay on and watch it later again. I could use the view count. All right, Steven.
Do you have it public? Or is it unlisted?
Oh, no,
like
it has
I did the other week, and Jay had to come in and.
No, they wouldn't have got notifications if it was unlisted. But I'll check. You start reading.
Okay.
If I fall out, you know why? Because my computer can't handle 2 freaking tabs.
In the face of a Trump defeat, Carano pivoted from politics to promoting The Mandalorian, on which she has a reoccurring role as Cara Dune. Oh my God! Breaking news! There's little baby Yoda, and I guess he won the election.
He won the election. Yay.
All right. Team Baby Yoda. It's funny because democracy is a joke to her.
That was one of the things that is clearly so ridiculous. Like, honestly, I think it's a divisive post because I fucking hate Baby Yoda. But like in reality, like that's not really political. That's just trying to get everybody to laugh a little bit.
Right.
That's like uniting, honestly. Like as we're sitting here, the whole country's like fighting over who they think is going to win. She puts this to put a smile on people's face. And the idea that is what they're using to say that she sucks is ironic. Although it's the least favorite thing I've ever seen her tweet.
Well, and I think that's the reaction of the people who... Right, but it still made you laugh, right? Even people that don't like the character. It's you're right, it's just something funny for everybody.
But they don't want people to have joy. Like, how dare you
No.
enjoy yourself when I'm mad?
Nothing's funny
That's their
anymore.
attitude.
Well, Carano's ignorance, condescension, and bigotry may have you feeling soured on watching more of The Mandalorian. We'll take some solace in that the show's titular star, Pedro Pascal, has pronouns in his Insta bio, is firmly Team Blue. What
Did
did
you say that? The way you said titular was really
Oh, I like titular. I like that word.
Titular. Let me ask you a question. So, does she know this for fact, or is she assuming that because he
this whole
put
thing,
pronouns in, that he's a lefty, a liberal? Because there are people that support, gender equality that are, on the right, maybe more right center than anything. But
well, she's saying that because of the evidence that she's about to present, where it's him saying people should vote, and then his celebratory post after Biden was declared the victor by the media.
Oh, that was a great one. Yeah, as you can see, I don't research the articles. I just pick them out by the names, the titles. So go ahead, Steven.
Again, I mean, you see that this is going to be the media narrative. Obviously, it's everything's always politicized and segregated to them. Either you're the good guy or the bad guy. It's always politicized. And so from this person's perspective, when you've got Pedro coming out and making very divisive comments consistently, and then, Cara, geez, almost a Cara Dune. And then you have Gina, who's just, been really trying to be neutral, be positive. They just want to set these two people up into opposition. They want to create more division. They want to use Star Wars again as a platform to divide people. It's sickening to me. It doesn't need to happen. And you can see it clearly. Again, you can see it coming from one side of the, I don't want to say aisle, people with a certain political or social disposition. Okay, here's what Pascal has been posting on Instagram ever since Election Day. We urge people to vote leaning on his Star Wars ties. Right, making Star Wars political. That's exactly what I don't want. Well, a lot of us don't want. He shared his protest sign that spoke to his beliefs. Gay power, black power, women power, student power. All power to the people. Well, I mean, whatever.
Not white people, though.
except for white men.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, if you're gay,
well, it depends.
you're actually
because
at the top, I guess.
if you're a gay person of color, then you have more check boxes, and then you're higher on the oppression scale.
The more points you get.
Yes, the more points you get.
Yeah, good point.
The more ribbons. He posted a regal portrait of Stacey Adams to toast Georgia after Georgia going blue.
Abrams.
No. Abrams, yeah, I don't know who that is.
Quite the fupa there, very regal fupa.
Yeah, she looks like a potato.
Stacey.
I don't know who
But
that
even
is.
in this, like, she's reading into everything they're doing. Maybe he just likes this particular elected official. Like, why does everything have to be divisive? It's insane. They pick a fight between these people and between their fans for absolutely no reason.
Hey, look, and I'm just going to mention this. That is one hell of a bunt. What? He shared pics of virtual celebrations. Okay, yay. Wash your teeth and your hands and your ass. It was about MAGA hat, but keep it in the spirit of celebration. Bye-bye, Trump.
Yeah, so the reason that it's that one is because that's a repost. Originally, the first picture there, before we got to all these pictures of celebrating, is the one where he compared Trump voters to Nazis. So
yeah, they conveniently leave that one out of this.
Yeah, what a shock.
Well, that doesn't fit the narrative. So the narrative is being told here.
It fits mine.
Plus, he posted this cheeky music video, and we're not going to watch a damn Biden music.
I thought you couldn't be happy. So he posts something funny and it's okay.
Oh my
Like,
God!
what?
All right, fine. Well, I didn't share sound. I'll have to. I'm not sharing.
Yeah,
God, why is Boy Rat?
Stop!
God damn
scrolling
it!
down.
What the hell is going on? Is that the end of the article?
I like how it's like
Yes.
Boris Johnson and Trump, and then Borat.
Right. Like this,
Like,
and Trump's like looking at him. You notice that? He's like kind of looking in that direction. Like,
thumbs up.
a lot of drinking going on. Yeah, so that's the article, Scott. That's it.
This is so pointless.
No facts, just pure assumptions and imputing motives. Yeah,
That's
real journalism.
And a hell of a one.
I would have liked if it was that video where he just goes up there and plays Despacito. That would.
That was so cringe. So cringe.
Hey, Steven, why are there Borat celebrity pics on your? Why are they advertising that to you?
I have no idea. I don't never go to this website. I don't know what this is.
It seems like
you guys
they know your habits really well.
Well, culture. You weren't probably like on some now. This is just what he would show on a stream. Googling lightsaber dildos. So
I
things
did not
like that.
Do that.
Maybe you should clear your cookies.
It just came up.
Yeah, lightsaber dildos. Okay. Thank you for reading that, though, Steven. That was a great job. So right there, you just see bias. And like Nerd Cookies, you said, it's somebody's opinion. And nowadays, people take opinion as fact and don't realize that fact is fact. I don't know. It's all emotion and no facts. And it bothers the shit out of me. And that's why I wanted to read that article.
I think that wasn't an opinion. That was an opinion, like as in up yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be it. We're going to move on because does anybody have anything they want to finish with that one?
No, that button is still
thoughts?
burned in my brain. I can't get past it.
Go ahead.
The most obvious thing, right, is that they're shitting on Gina, praising. Literally, I think my thumbnail said media attacks Gina Carano, simps for Pedro. And that's exactly what we have going on here. And to not even mention that he compared the MAGA hat to the Nazi flag it's not journalism. I think we all understand that. And that's why nobody gives a shit. I guarantee you that has got more clicks on their stupid little website than anything in the past 6 or 7 months has, unfortunately. And it's because it's such a terrible article. But that's how it works these
days. Right.
days.
So what you're saying is the more divisive you are, the more clicks you'll get, the more clickbaity-ish, That's pretty much what it is now.
Yeah, that's the media.
driven by hate and fear. That's the narratives that are crafted right now. Absolutely.
Well, and listen, we can't. That's how we're on YouTube too. I think all of us understand that a little bit. Like that, you have to title it something clever. We can't all be nerd cookies and title it Dune lore video and it gets fucking 100,000 views.
Hey, nerd cookies is awesome. Don't even go there, dude.
We have to put a screaming SJW and like they did what to George Lucas. That's what we do to get views. So.
Yeah,
right. And I understand that, but the article itself, it read more like somebody's blog back in the day than actual like a news article. There's been a disconnect with traditional news outlets that are losing money to the internet. So they just started to pour out, whatever would be clickbaity. And it's kind of ridiculous. Clickbaity. Clickbaity.
I know you said baby.
Because you can do a
That's even better.
clickbaity title, but you should still have a substantive article or some message that you're trying to convey with facts.
Yeah. Right.
And they don't do that anymore. It's just
an opinion
nonsense.
too, like just opinions now, even if it's clickbait somewhat, but it's basically we knew what the article was before even reading it. With that headline was just so toxic. And so and again, there were no facts to back up that headline. So it's just you knew what was coming. I rolled my eyes so many times.
I have that video if you want to see it or play it.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Who are these men? Oh, I'm sorry.
Men.
Oh yeah.
YouTube is just completely fucked, evidently, according to everybody in the chat and what I'm seeing online. I don't know what's going on.
That's weird.
Scott's internet has affected all of YouTube. Good job.
I totally like fed back into the net and have destroyed it with my AOL dial-up. Sorry, guys.
Dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was wondering because I we have only like 15 people watching, and we usually, we hold a huge 30 to 40 people. You know what I mean? Come on, right, Ryan? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
All right. I guess we'll just keep going by and people could watch it on replay. That kind of sucks. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Even though we're already like, is it considered demonetized if you go to the yellow symbol on YouTube?
No, that's half a suck. The whole suck is when you get demonetized, or you get no monetization. You just half a suck right now.
I'm trying to look at it on the phone. I'm trying to look at it on the phone, and it just keeps loading and loading and loading.
Well, I'm just
working on my phone, but it's not working on my. Well, it wasn't working on my other laptop. But
yeah, somebody reported it's broken in Canada, the UK, and some states in the Americas. So, I blame Biden.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that's
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there. He retweeted a like I didn't enjoy, so he fucked up YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I guess we'll go on to the next article, and yay us.
Hey.
So, Culture, what do we have here, buddy?
Well, we have a wonderful article from Bounding into Comics, and
is that Ryan's brother?
It looks like it.
Oh,
yeah. That's.
I'm not trying to be mean, but she looks like Chris Farley in the Gap skits.
One of these people look like Barney Rubble.
I was just thinking her highlights are interesting.
That's a very
like
Baltimore
a 90s look.
Yeah, that's a very Baltimore look
have,
in the 90s. Yeah.
Right. And that's why we have women on, and I'm not being sexist, people, but that's why we have women on the panel. You saw something I never would have looked at. That is, I don't know even what highlights are the blondish thing, right? Blonde. I don't have hair.
I think Culture's staring at Ryan's lips.
No.
Culture, you kind of look a little like if you cut your hair, and took off the glasses. Hold on. Hold on. Culture, take off your glasses and show yourself on the video. Oh my God, he's infiltrated the fourth wave. Very touche, my good man. Touche.
Johnson Casino.
Ryan wished he had that hair.
I wish I had that hair.
Ryan Johnson wishes he had a dick, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if he does have one, it's micro, and that's why he's angry. Because you pee all over yourself. You have to sit down with something like that, I guess.
Scott, these ad hominem attacks, they are so beneath you, sir. So beneath you.
I know, but I'm just working on broken YouTube right now, so I don't care. I gave up about 20 minutes ago. Let's read.
Okay. Leslye Headland implies Rian Johnson is a Star Wars heretic. Well, not quite, but thank you, John F. Trent. Star Wars showrunner Leslye Headland recently implied that Rian Johnson, Rian, whatever you want to call him, anyway, is a Star Wars heretic. Headland talked about Star Wars and her upcoming show with YouTuber Fantastic Frankie. No idea who that is.
I don't know. Anybody?
Anybody
know who
It's like an hour-long interview. I hadn't heard of her before. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, but...
Okay. Oh. Well, when asked what her favorite dream project was, Headland was rather clear. It's the upcoming Star Wars project. She explained working for Lucasfilm, working on Star Wars IP, is my dream project.
Bullshit.
That is 100%. That is all I want to do.
No. When a person says, I don't have a favorite movie, I like them
all.
You are not a fan, bro.
No,
she in the canon, even in the Disney canon, it's a separate thing.
Right. Well, she actually sounded like Biden when she would talk about it. She's like, that Star Wars movie thing? That's the one I like. What were you gonna say, Ryan?
Yes, Queen.
Well, Nerd Cookies, were you just talking about how people don't think this is like in the Disney canon timeline?
Well, she said it was like within something unexplored or something, but I don't even know what that means. But she said it was going to be separate from the. Well, I think she says it in here, so we'll know.
I think that people that this is like an error of reporting. I think this is very similar to like when that one random dude was like announced he's suddenly producing making a Star Wars movie, and they were like, oh, it's based on Exegol, because there was one little snippet of a phrase that was like shrouded in the mists of Exegol when talking about the project, just to say they didn't know anything. I think that's what we're talking about here. I think we've taken a look at this. What they mean to say is that it's in like a part of the timeline that we haven't explored yet. So it's not going to be set necessarily in the prequels or in the OT era. I think that's what they mean by a little pocket of the Star Wars universe, its own place at a different time that you're not used to. But I don't think it's necessarily alternate.
I wish she would be clear, though, because she also talks in circles when she talks about it, and she must have gone to the Kathleen Kennedy school of talking like a used car salesman. She doesn't really say specifically, like, why can't you say where it's based?
Right.
So how do we even know if it is something that's unexplored? Because they kind of touted the High Republic books as something we haven't seen before, when there's literally thousands of years of Legends prequel books. So, I mean, we can't even tell for sure if this is even accurate, what she's saying.
It's going to be a very gay time from the system of Bide to Hen.
A Yabba-Doo time?
Hey, the Time Prophet, I'm glad you finally got the notification, man. That's great.
Wow.
She's a poser. That's what she is. She's a poser. She got a great gig, so she's going to try to fake it till she makes it, if she ever does. But that's
Look,
what
if you're going to fail up from Harvey Weinstein, you might as well hit it out of the park, right?
Yeah, I
Harvey,
just don't understand that mindset. When you get hired onto an amazing project, you get paid incredibly well, and you're telling me you can't take the time to actually research the subject matter? That's just crazy to me.
I mean, who doesn't have a favorite Star Wars movie? That's stupid.
Now,
People
she
who
does
don't like Star Wars.
Exactly.
in this interview, she does go to say some things. She talks about how much she enjoyed the prequels when they came out. She's like, "Oh, I read Heir to the Empire," which should be
Okay.
the basically the normie EU book,
Right,
that, like everyone's
right.
heard of.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm one of those.
yeah.
No, me too. But it's, she definitely doesn't know the material well enough, and then she's doing the fake it till you make it. But it's, why hire somebody like that then?
Right.
Is her talent that great that you couldn't hire somebody else who has more knowledge of the Star Wars world and also is a very good writer and director? I don't get it.
No,
Yeah, well, look at who hired her.
Yeah. She has the right ideology. Her fingers were thick enough. She got the job, and that's it's not about creativity. It's not about ability. It's about agenda. That's why she was hired.
I mean, for talking about Star Wars so much, she doesn't really say anything specific to why she likes it. Like what specifically that she enjoyed that touched her as a kid. It's kind of generic.
What touched her as a kid? Did you just say touched her as a kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on now.
When she saw, as a child, what really spoke to her.
So
You guys are gross. Anyways. But you know what I mean, right? She just sounds like just a generic spiel. Nothing really that sounds genuine.
Kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, I remember the first time I saw insert movie here in the movie theaters with my insert parental, person, and I had a popcorn with insert favorite candy. Hopefully she has been doing research. I mean, we've seen the boards at Lucasfilm. They want space dinosaurs. They want diversity, They don't want war in Star Wars.
Right.
It's script writing, but it's Mad Libs at the same time. What?
Perfect.
Can we? What is this? Culture? Can you read this garbage, please? Thank you.
Sure. Whenever I have creative phone calls about it with my team,
Leslye Headland. So it's more like whenever I have creative phone calls.
Oh, I'm okay. Whenever I have creative phone calls about it with my team or with team at Lucas, I just have to kind of almost put a timer on the amount of time I'm talking, because I will just talk for so long about the tiniest piece of origin story or a particular geographical location.
Great.
I will just go on, and I'll look up and I'll be like, I've been talking for 3 minutes straight or 5 straight about this. I have to stop talking.
Yeah, please
Headland
stop
Is
talking.
that a long time though to talk about something?
Is she Snuffleupagus? Is she Snuffleupagus? Because that's exactly what I heard.
Not if you're in charge of the project. I don't think talking for 3 minutes straight when you're in charge of a project is something that should be that big of a deal.
Yeah, again, it sounds just more rhetoric, and I don't know.
You know,
Trying to prove to us she loves Star Wars a little too much.
Yeah, I talked for 35 minutes today and had to cut it down about the dumbass parrot analytics today. I about lost my stuff. And I still have like at least 2 more videos to go on that dumb shit. Anyway.
Oh my God, he cursed.
Yep. She went on. I have been, but also I've never been so happy, but also challenged. That's the other thing. I think that sometimes when people think dream project, they think maybe something cushy or something.
Yeah, she's challenged, all right.
What is she
Headland.
talking?
You would be the scariest train person ever. That voice is just scary. Sorry. Go on, Jayne. What were you going to say?
Phobe.
I don't understand what she's just basically going on and on about not saying anything. It's like America just was saying.
There are a couple things. There are a couple things that are coming up here that are things that I think that if we didn't know so much else about her that's shitty, we might think it's a good thing.
Oh.
So.
All right.
Headland then went on to discuss the challenge of the show and the respect that she has for Star Wars. She stated, I see this as a massive challenge to take on, and a very serious one. And I have an immense amount of respect for the world George built, but also canon. In Legends and canon, there is a lot of stuff there, not to take any of that lightly and like, hey, I'm going to bring my thing into that. I think that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm joining almost a religion.
Oh God, this sounds disgusting.
What does that even mean? I'm going to bring my thing into that? What does that even mean?
Oh.
I don't know, but Ryan,
You're a writer and you can't even express yourself.
No,
Ryan,
I understand. I understand
what were you
she's saying.
pointing at?
I understand what she's saying. So, like, if I didn't know everything that this chick was about all the white women and all about representation and Harvey Weinstein and deleting all of her tweets, if I didn't know all this, and I just heard someone sit down and say this, I have an immense amount of respect for the world George built, but also canon in Legends and canon. There's a lot of stuff there. Not to take any of that. So this is the point. Not to take any of it lightly and say, hey, I'm going to bring my thing into that. I think that would be a mistake. Those are all things that I think we want to hear actually from Star Wars creators. Don't you guys?
Well, actually, when you say it like that and not like Culture just said, where
Exactly.
misjudge how she said it. No, that's what I would want to hear from a director, writer, anybody.
Okay, look, and I will give Ryan credit for reading that way, but I was just trying the character of Leslye Headland, and I think I nailed it, but maybe not. But honestly, I think that in this statement, I've not known anything about her, including being the personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. I would say that she's trying to act reverential, or at least she's speaking about Star Wars in that manner.
Trying to keep her job.
No, it's just kind of refreshing. If we didn't know anything about her, it would be right. So
right, I guess.
If we didn't know anything about how Disney has basically destroyed everything up until this point, sure,
and her. I mean, knowing about her,
she jumped on that bandwagon. I mean, when she first, don't forget that interview she gave at like the Power Woman Summit or whatever the hell it was. She laid it out there.
White people aren't diverse. Yeah.
Right. I like had a black person working at my place, and I was like, oh my God, am I being bad for hiring a black person and having them go get my coffee, or should I make the white person like she's a moron? She's a moron.
And I do agree with Ryan. Like there is some good like kernels of things we could read into, but it's just surrounded by a bunch of like flowery. She can't express herself well, and I don't know if it's just so. Taking that all into consideration, I'm not sure if it's genuine. If she says she respects, George and the Legends of canon, but so did Kathleen Kennedy at the beginning. And I just feel like I'm getting kind of that same, kind of
right. Like when she was sitting with George, Elaine, when she was sitting with George at that table and said she was there to protect his legacy. You remember when Kathleen Kennedy said that? I think she is trying
to backtrack on it, though. I think because there is another article where they're talking about how, yeah, it's female centric, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to include men. It's rather more that it's just centers around a female protagonist. But female centric has a different meaning. So, but she was trying to clarify that. So, and it sounds like she was backtracking, but the headline and everything surrounding it and just was all about the female centric stuff. But there was those little bit of things that you saw hope, but it was just, it's really hard to tell because she's just surrounded by I don't know, like a sales pitch. It just sounds
right. No, the statements that she has made in the past, the statements that she has made in the past, leading up
her
to
previous
hiring
projects,
film and her previous projects, and what we have already seen come out of Disney Lucasfilm, and the statements that have come out of the creators and the writers
and the story group and the thing that Project Luminous, which turned into the biggest shit pile I've ever seen in my life, next to the dung pile that was in Jurassic Park.
I do not trust anything.
And I don't think we said it enough. Don't forget, she was the personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein. Let's not forget that. We can't say that enough. But go on, Steven. I'm sorry.
No, that's pretty much it. Like, you have to prove it to me at this point. You have to prove that you honor the legacy and the lore that you are working with, because it's already been smashed into 1,000 pieces. And no matter what you do, you lead up to the sequel trilogy, and which is complete, just a trash fire from start to finish, in its entirety. You still lead up to useless bum ass Luke Skywalker instead of the Legends Luke that we got. All right, he wasn't perfect, but it was way better than Jake Skywalker. So it's hard to be excited for anything that's being crafted within this universe with the creators that are there, with the company culture that we know exists at Disney Lucasfilm. I don't trust it.
You know what? But Steven, you said, and I'll go right to you, Nerd Cookies. Steven, you said it best right there. The philosophy for the last few years with a lot of these IPs, not just Star Wars, it used to be, their job was to make something we wanted. And somehow that flipped in the last few years where it was, we should accept whatever they make, and if we don't like it, then we're a phobe, we're an ism.
I would rather go back to the time of bitching about how much green screen was used in the prequels. I'm a prequel defender. I would rather have those discussions, those arguments.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's where I'd rather be.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, I just want to apologize to everybody. It's not, my internet does suck, but it's YouTube. Thank you guys for trying to stick in the chat and work through it with us. Nerd Cookies, what did you have to say?
I was just going to say that when I hear, and I think back to interviews that Jon Favreau did, just how much of a difference there is, the way he would talk about Star Wars and the way he would talk about the fans. It was just, it really felt genuine, and he really wanted to make something that the fans would love. And of course, we're still divided on that, and as far as what the Mandalorian has brought, but I at least see that he's trying to make the fans happy, and it might feel safe, or it might, it's kind of a mixed bag, but I do feel that he loves Star Wars, and that's not just a sales pitch for him. He said he couldn't even do it if he thought the fans didn't like it.
I was in that camp with you, Nerd Cookies. I was in that camp with you, and then I saw him at that women's conference, spitting out the same garbage that the people around him were spitting. I don't care if he's just trying to save his job or not.
Are you talking about Filoni?
Filoni?
Oh, Filoni. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not Favreau.
No, Favreau.
I did say Favreau, right?
I'm sorry. I thought you said Filoni.
Yeah.
No, Steven doesn't pay any attention.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. Sorry.
Yeah, he's spaced out.
But I do agree that I think that Favreau, I don't think he's here to preach anything. I do think he's there just to make stuff. And that is one of the refreshing things about the Mandalorian, is that's really what we're talking about, whether it's good or not whether it's, regardless of the lead actor, right? Not that it's woke.
Ryan, you're right. I think you're probably the most expanded universe guy on this panel. I know I've heard Lethal Lightning talking about how he doesn't like what they're doing with the Mandalorians. Like, what's your take on that?
Like in general? So in general, I think that the Mandalorian is just very, very mediocre. I think that it's a story that doesn't know where it wants to go. I think that it is ultimately, it's just a very simplistic thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but it truly is like a cartoon in terms of how simple it is. We are now 25% of the way through its second season, and we have had literally no story development.
Right.
But
Baby
Yoda
We're
ate
just-
some eggs.
I know, and I'm not
and
all about
Ryan-
that outrage either.
And Ryan, they had to restructure the season because of events that occurred on the set and because of the pandemic.
yeah,
Right.
But that doesn't
like,
excuse the poor story, though. I mean, it's
Right.
No, but
And-
you always have filler episodes, and I agree with you, Jane. I'm not trying to excuse it. Believe me.
Your first
That's the
episode.
well.
of the
They,
season?
But also, Culture, when you only have 8 episodes, you really don't have time for 3 or 4 episodes that are just filler. That's what kills me about the show. Well, no, just real quick. I know you agree. I'm just saying it. What bothers me most about the show, at times it's like a movie. It's cinematic. It has great that Western feel and him walking through town. And then in the next minute, I don't know what it is, but some of the character actors, I don't believe they're people in that galaxy. I feel like, you had the woman who's in the garage. I feel like you just plucked her out of, Hollywood and threw her in, or Bill Burr. I just feel like it's a guy from Boston in space. Like, I don't feel that connection to this show because it almost feels like the acting isn't up to par. The writing is not up to par, but again, it is beautifully filmed.
Mm-hmm.
If you take out canon destroying things, it is lovely to look at and the music is good. Other than that, I really don't have a lot good to say about it. I don't enjoy it.
I think this show really struggles I think one of the reasons it struggles with building the story is because your 2 main characters, one of them is a fucking baby and one of them never talks. And when he does talk, he's very boring. In Pedro Pascal and as Din Djarin, which is why you need characters like Cara Dune. You need characters like Greef Karga for when they come along for these episodes to help really draw out some things so that he can actually talk to somebody and you can find out more about him, find out more about his culture. But we've seen a frog lady, which is why so many people like the first episode, because Timothy Oliphant stole the show. He was very charismatic, which is why I think a lot of people really enjoyed that first episode. But that's the weakness of the show, is I think it's really reliant on who's guest starring each week.
Right.
Exactly. And what question I have for the panel is, what did you think it was going to be when it first, we got the commercials, we got the trailer. What did you think it was going to be? For me, I thought it was going to be the Mandalorian, slowly building up his arsenal, maybe forming a group of bounty hunters. Like, did you think it was going to be a kind of a rom-com of him and this freaking little green Muppet thing? It's like, oh, I could eat eggs whole. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I don't need the comic relief from this thing. And it's, I don't know about you. I don't know enough about the canon, but, at 50 years old, if it doesn't have some weird shaped, growth spurt in the next few years, then it destroyed the canon we know about Yoda.
Well, I would say that we don't know enough about Yoda's species to determine whether it destroys the canon on him or not. But
wasn't he training at 100? Wasn't he training at 100-year-old other Jedis?
Yes. Yes.
So,
yes.
I
would. Who knows how his species ages or anything like that. So they can make that up as they go and try to get away with it. For me, when this first came out, when we heard about it, when we heard them describe it, we heard Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni say, this show is not going to revolve around the Force. It's not going to involve Jedi in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to be a story about a bounty hunter. That's what they told us. Yeah. And then the first episode, you realize that's not really the case. I thought it was going to be a story about like a dark hero.
Yes.
Kind of almost a Punisher in space. Right. That's what I was anticipating, especially after the first scene. Yeah. And I thought after that first episode, I was like, okay, I see. So he's going to be doing these jobs. He's going to, he's going to be collecting bits of his armor to really like prove that he belongs kind of story. And then maybe at the end of the first season, he'll have all of his armor. And then you're going to start to learn maybe more about Mandalorian culture, or he'll get a higher rank in his clan, whatever it may be. That was kind of my assumption. And maybe you can blame it on putting like wrong expectations or whatever. I did not think. I tell you what would have changed it for me. At end of episode 1, if instead of shooting the droid, he shoots the baby, that would have sold me on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, because you're like, wow, this dude is Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Like this dude is. He will do anything to complete the job.
Right, like one of those things, like bring him. No, but that's like that brings you back to Boba Fett, where Darth Vader had to turn to him and say, "I want him alive." You know, like because he knows that mentality. Like he's just going to bring him in dead. You know, don't disintegrate, right? Yeah. So that's what I think. I agree with you. That's what I thought it was going to be, like this down dirty in the streets of Coruscant type. You know, but on different planets, of course, but like the seedy underground of Star Wars universe. Look, and what we got was we got one man and a baby. That's what we got.
I'm just happy that he knows his pronouns. Sorry.
And they're also leading toward basically launching spinoffs based on these new characters. They're going to be not new characters, but like Clone Wars and Rebels
introduced.
They're going to be introduced.
Right.
So it's just like, why? What's the point then? Because I thought it was going to be its own self-contained story as well, and now it's just basically a filler season or a filler.
Well, Jayne, subject. What did you say? This it's not even a filler season, Jayne. It is a vehicle to spin off their Disney Plus universe for Star Wars. Right. You're using the second season. I mean, you're going to have I think they're talking. And Ryan, you might know better. I thought there's like at least 3 that I've heard of, maybe 4 spin-offs of this. You have the. I
don't believe anything. I don't believe anything. We have heard that every single character from Lando Calrissian having 2 different spin-off shows. I'm surprised Claude, the fucking armless technician, there's not a rumor about him yet. So I'll believe it when I see it. We've heard. I think the Ahsoka thing. I think we all understand that is going to happen. Ahsoka is going to have a spin-off show that will probably involve Sabine, whether that's about Ezra and Thrawn or not. I guess that remains to be seen. We've heard rumors about Cara Dune and Bo-Katan. I don't know if I believe that. Obviously, the Boba Fett stuff is real, but whether the Boba Fett rumor is going to be a series or whether Boba Fett's going to be a bigger part of the Mandalorian, I think that is what remains to be seen. Doesn't make much sense to me to have the Mandalorian show and Boba Fett going on at the same time. Feels like it's the same show, but I don't know. Maybe Culture has some more information on it.
Wait, are we getting a show on Claude the Penis Monster?
I'd watch that before I'd watch fucking.
I think
shit they came up with.
Yeah. Real quick, guys. Makini 90. I always say Makini. I'm sorry, buddy. Makini 90 with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Literally helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. And he's the greatest mod we have. Essentially, sorry, Tommy, you are too. Essentially, at the start of the first season, you were expecting Star Wars 1313, but put into live action show, but instead got a man and a baby traveling through the galaxy with filler. I don't know Star Wars 1313.
Oh my God, dude, are you kidding me?
No, I'm sorry. You don't have to beat my ass.
Star Wars 1313 was a canceled video game that was well into development. It involved you played as a very young up-and-coming bounty hunter who would eventually be revealed to be Boba Fett. And it took place in the underworld of Coruscant. And
so exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. It was essentially like Uncharted, Uncharted style, but a Star Wars game. It's kind of what the gameplay reminded me of.
And the shots for the game are just fantastic, spectacular, brother.
Yeah, but Disney canceled it, so
yeah.
No. All right, Culture, you want to jump on a little bit more of this article and get through it?
I feel bad. I feel bad that I'm shitting.
Dude, that was I took like a 15-minute break. Let me see.
Why do you wait a minute? Hold on, real quick. Why do you feel bad?
I feel bad shitting on the Mandalorian because I know Nerd Cookies likes it. She's just sitting there muted.
Well, that's
sorry.
That's why she doesn't invite me on the channel.
If you wanted to ask me.
Well, I would love to ask you. What do you think of the Mandalorian, Nerd Cookies?
I am all for however you feel about it. Please, it doesn't bother me at all. how
What
I
did you-
originally thought about
did
it, it
you-
reminds me
yeah.
a lot about a video game. And I used to play SWTOR all the time. And it actually made me want to subscribe again and play my mercenary, because it felt like a video game to me. The video game progression of him achieving his armor and kind of these side quests, intermittently throughout, with the overarching story of him finding out more about his Mandalorian culture. And that I thought was interesting. I didn't know really what to expect. Honestly, I didn't know what would come, especially after the, what we've gotten from Disney. So I had no expectations. I was hopeful, but so when it is kind of like this video game stories, these kind of like cartoonish kind of storylines that we see in live action form, I think it's okay. It's not like, it doesn't blow my mind, but it also at the same time doesn't break anything. I don't feel like I'm dead inside, which is after I saw The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where there was nothing. I didn't feel anything. And at least this is
so
trying
awesome. That is so awesome. That's what you're happy about.
Yeah.
I actually had a feeling, I didn't feel
this
like
is actually,
soulless.
It makes me
Right.
excited to dive into like some the Han Solo books, the Tales of Jabba's Palace books, and get back into my playing my bounty hunter. Like, it should want you to dive into the universe more.
Mhm.
And that's what the film should have done. But at least this is kind of like it. I can just kind of escape into this little. It's not groundbreaking at all, but at least it's not breaking something or destroying a beloved character. And I just hope that I just remain cautiously optimistic, which is just my constant state of mind. It's just
Right. And Jayne, Jayne, do you agree with? Because one thing I have to say about the show, it doesn't yet. I don't feel it's agenda driven. I feel like, yes, I don't think the story is very good, but at least it is their character story driven. It doesn't have an agenda like the Force is female. What do you think about that, Jayne? Is that why people are liking it?
I think so. And also because the sequels destroyed a lot for us. So this feels like Star Wars to me. It looks like Star Wars. And it doesn't have the agenda like you were describing earlier. So I think that is what's attracting people. But this is season 2. So I think a lot of that fog of this isn't terrible is sort of fading away. And people are starting to actually be critical of it. And the fact that there's no story there. And you can't continue a show long term, at least, with no actual substance. It's just, we're beyond it now. We've buried the sequels, and we've gotten over sort of being overly hyped about the first season, and now we want the actual story, and we're not getting it.
I think one of the problems with it is that there's so much for them to tell us about this. Like, I think a lot of season 1, people are like, oh, well, we'll find out. But even things like, why does he keep his helmet on? That doesn't make any sense. Like, in all of this canon Star Wars, we have Mandalorians that, take their helmets off. We know that the Mandalorians were fighting with the Jedi 10 years ago, alongside Jedi 10 years ago. But now it's like some ancient thing. But he still knows that the New Republic's catchphrase is "May the Force be with you."
Oh, now, that killed me, man.
Now, just because he's heard that doesn't mean he understands the Force necessarily. But for it to be, I just think there's a lot of things like that as we go through that are like, man, you got to explain to me some of this stuff.
Right.
It's not making sense in my head.
Well, because Ryan, I got to say right here, you're even trying to help them. You're explaining it away. It's only 5 years after the fall of the Empire. I'm sorry, everyone would have known that story. The galaxy was under the clutches of the Emperor for decades, and all of a sudden they're defeated, and you don't know who defeated him, what defeated him. Never heard of Jedi. Come on, he grew up in the time of Jedi. He's not like a young guy. So it just kills me that we're. Exactly. He would know what the Jedi are, and it just blows my mind.
That's the thing. Like, what is the explanation? There is a lot for them to explore. There's a lot for them to tell us, and they're not. They've wasted 2 whole episodes of season 2 doing absolutely nothing.
That's sweet. You know what? Nerd Cookies, can you read that for me? I'm too emotional.
Author Stephen Walton became a YouTube member. Yay!
That was so sweet. I'm sorry, I had to make you read that because you did the awe. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. I just want everybody to know I was his member first.
We exchanged
Thanks,
members.
buddy.
I really
We-
didn't need to know any of those
A
things.
lot of member exchange. Oh, don't be jealous. When you get there, we'll give you some membership. We'll give you your member.
Oh, I'm there.
bed.
I just have to figure out, I want to have all my stuff in place so I don't have like the generic symbols for my members.
So
I
you
want
don't
them
have
to
a member?
So you're not me? Is that what you're saying?
I want to have, individual symbols, and I want to be able to provide them with some bonus material, special live
Right.
streams, that kind of thing.
Right.
Oh,
so you're a prick. Okay, so what do you think about The Mandalorian before you start reading the article? Because we didn't catch your views on it, Culture.
Yeah,
What did you expect it to be?
I'm universally disappointed, but not surprised. The first season, I was allowing for the growth that's required. The second season, much like Jayne said, needed to get off with a bang. I understand why it didn't, based on information that has been out there in the world and that I've learned. So I know they had to restructure the season. I know that the way they went about introducing Boba Fett was done for a reason. I know all of these things, but it doesn't change the fact that, like Jayne said, we don't have a consistent story. And, at this point, I anticipated that we were going to be hunting down other coverts, and he would be a little more effective at that, because guess what? He's supposed to be the best bounty hunter. At least that's what we're led to believe, so maybe he would know about, searching for stuff, maybe without the helping hand of these fobs that have not been mentioned at all for a while. Thank goodness. But I just, look, I'm disappointed. I don't like the reliance on the baby Yoda thing to be there to get everybody's panties wet. I don't like any of those things. What I like is that there are some things, the member berries that are there at least made me feel like this is mediocre presentation of Star Wars, only slightly better than the Christmas special.
And you know what? I totally pushed that fob thing out of my mind. I totally forgot they did that stupid ass shit. Oh my God. All right, let's read some more. Thank you, Culture.
She went on. I mean, it's funny. I was using that as an analogy with the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. With that acquisition, it was kind of where the Catholic Church was in 1400. Headland then implied that...
Whoa. Just reread that part one more time. Not the whole thing. The last like 2 sentences.
What?
She went on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny. I was using that as an analogy with the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. With that acquisition, it was kind of where the Catholic Church was in 1400.
Does anybody understand what she means there?
She's about to go and explain.
Thank God.
Well,
Thank you,
okay.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do any prep for the show. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Headland then implied that Rian Johnson is a heretic by comparing him to Martin Luther. Luther was famously accused of heresy by Pope Leo X in a papal bull and ordered him to recant his heresies or face excommunication. Luther did not recant and made a public display of burning the bull.
poor bull.
Pope Leo X declared Luther a heretic and excommunicated him in January of 1521. He would then be declared an outlaw by the Holy Roman Empire at the Imperial Diet of Worms in April 1521. Headland stated, "You've got Rian Johnson as Martin Luther posting stuff to the front of the church, and everyone's like, no. And the other half is like, yes.
You sound like Kevin McAllister at the Plaza Hotel when he slowed down the recording of his voice.
But is it really half? Is it really half? I mean... okay, and I'm not just talking about menacers or people that we hang out with. I mean, like normies too. Like, is it really half, or is it way less than half?
Also, how is Luther spelled? I've seen it spelled with an O and an E. Like, often.
It's an E, I believe. Yeah, they've done a few.
Literally back-to-back
Okay.
words in the article. Luthor,
Yes.
Luthor.
Luthor. Yeah.
Mr. Luthor.
I didn't
No,
realize
Lex,
this was a
Lex,
DC
Lex,
article.
Lex had time traveled back.
Yeah.
Didn't you remember that comic of Superman where Lex Luthor went back in time and Pope Leo called him a heretic? You
I
don't
don't
remember
think
that one?
that Ryan Johnson is either Martin Luther or Lex Luthor, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Before we went live, I said that I think that a lot of people are saying, "Ooh, Leslye Headland called Ryan Johnson a heretic. She must despise him." When in reality, what she's saying is that she's saying like the Star Wars fandom is like the Catholic Church, and half of them are calling him a heretic, and half of them are like backing him as the Protestant king or something.
Oh, Lord.
So. Yeah,
I mean, it's not inaccurate.
yeah.
No, you have a valid point.
Yeah.
What kills me though is she knows more about the church history than she does canon for Star Wars.
Well, white people.
Okay,
are
that fell flat. That fell real flat. Okay.
I was
didn't even
letting
know
it
that
sink.
you
That's a
know
good
that.
point.
No, you're just
This is
on a
actually
delay.
the most
We'll laugh in like
specific
5
she's been.
minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Great. No, don't be sorry. Stop saying sorry. You was typing away like a rock star. All right. Culture Casino, read on before I say something else stupid.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God, he cursed.
What was that picture? Was that your girth?
No, that was the stupid comic book.
Don't call it stupid. Comic book's fucking
What
awesome.
comic book is it? Which one is it?
That's the Legacy Comics. It's very
Yeah.
ironic because Darth Talon is from the Legacy Comics.
Right.
So it's pretty appropriate for today and what we got revealed.
That's
That
not
was in
what
your
I
video
meant,
today,
but
correct?
that's fine.
I know.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, dude. Wow. Jesus, Culture. Go on.
Later in the interview, Headland would also discuss her passion for Star Wars. Listen, I was already a big fan. Of course, growing up, I was a huge fan, but I would say with the advent of YouTube, that was really when I started getting more into Star Wars again. She continued, because I was in my early 20s during the prequels, I went to see them all opening night because I needed to know what happened. But I would say I didn't really immerse myself as much as when the original trilogy was touching me as a kid.
See, she did say that.
Because then I was reading Heir to the Empire and Timothy Zahn books. I was kind of getting into it a little bit more as a teenager. I put it down as the prequels. I just didn't feel like I was the audience for the prequels, except that I was a Star Wars fan. But I was really in the advent of YouTube that I started to get reinvested in Star Wars again. Headland went on.
Bullshit.
A 3-movie.
I just want to make a point that everything she just said is a normie quote. All of that.
At best.
Yeah.
If anything, it seems like somebody trying too hard to prove her Star Wars clout.
Well, no, like if
That's
I
what
was
it
sitting
sounds
around a group of people who like me, I'm not well versed in the EU or anything. I've read some of the books. Most of them in the Vong series. This is kind of an answer that I would expect to hear from people. I mean, it's just, you could say you're a Star Wars fan, I guess, but you're right. It does seem like she's trying to present herself as something that
she's trying to prove her clout. Like she wants
But
people
it's
to
stupid.
believe. Go ahead, Jane. Rip it.
No,
Go.
I think it's just ridiculous because, okay, if you like the original trilogy and that's all you know, okay, fine, talk about that.
Be honest.
You don't have to make up stuff.
Star
That's what I'm
Wars,
saying.
talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars.
she likes talking about YouTube an awful lot, but it was really the advent
Yeah,
of
like that was the
YouTube
other
that I
thing. Like,
started-
what does that have to even do with anything? I don't
Wow, what are you
understand
talking
the
about?
connection.
Right. What are you talking about? I don't know. It's as if she's looking around at different Star Wars channels or something nowadays. And I don't know. It's got me.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. No real deep answer there. I'm so exhausted, guys. I apologize. I have
Yeah.
fire
Yeah.
tonight.
Well, you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup. You
I'm
gotta,
s-
you do.
I'm sucking.
Ooh, fiery
I'm sucking.
Steven on TR4. Sucking
feel-
Steven on the
I mean,
dump.
this is a long article.
Yeah, I
It
feel
is.
bad for our audience. And
All right, let's move on. You know what?
can't see it.
Sorry. No,
Can't see
we're
it
moving
yet.
on.
Oh man, I was
They
reading.
can't see it.
I did, dude. I had nailed my Headland voice. God dang it! All right, whatever.
Well, we only
I thought
have
you were-
about 15, 20 minutes more, so
Oh, okay.
I would like Jayne to bring up the article, the last
Oh,
article.
yeah, let Jayne
Jayne
read. Thank God.
Ryan, well, that's one thing. If they can't
Read
see
for
us,
us.
at least they can hear her voice. And Ryan just put out an article, video about this that I watched today. So I would like his expertise in this one.
Right.
That's kissing up right there, Steven.
Yeah,
That's
it
kissing
really
up.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Quality
tried.
kiss
I
up,
tried.
dude.
Go fuck yourselves.
I would say sucking it up.
Both lips, dude. You got
Yeah.
the pork and the beans, bro. Good job.
I did like the hand. I did the hand underneath tickling, maybe slipping back a little to see if he likes that, but pulling it back because I realized he doesn't. Anyways, go on. Oh, Jayne, you took it away before I was.
And
gonna
you
load
probably were a button circler too, aren't you?
it.
Definitely travel.
Have you talked to people I've been with? McKinney 90 for $10. Again, Makini, you don't have to do that, man. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. The difference between people like Ryan, Lord Callis, and OG, and many others is that they don't need to pretend they know Star Wars to create something for Star Wars. And that's what I was trying to get at. She may have read those books. She may have enjoyed, the original and didn't feel like the prequels was hers. But, we don't need to hear your clout. Just dive in now, do the research, and create something that your fans will want to see. And I'd also like
to mention thank you, McAnee, for showing up Scott on how to properly kiss ass. Thank you very much, sir.
He is really good at it.
And I will say that I'm not a creative person. I don't think I could ever be someone that writes an original book or a movie or anything like that. Right. I can, however, I do know shit though, and I can critique it, but I can't create things. I can only destroy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? There's a need of that in this world. So, whatever, because I can't create. I'm not. Some of us on here, you have, not Steven, but there's other people that write and they're really good writers. And I just, but you're willing to, what? Go ahead.
Sorry,
Yes.
YouTube released a statement that they're having issues, so it's
Oh, no shit.
across the board. It might be subject to right now.
I'm glad I picked the week to
You
have
died.
you and Ryan on. Really pumped
Jesus
up my
Christ, will
channel,
you just
guys.
let-
Thanks.
It's not you. It's happening to everyone.
Scott, will you let Jayne read?
I did that.
That's what I came here for. That's what I came
Okay,
here
you ready?
Steven. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? I was having some issues.
I can hear you now.
What?
now.
I mean, with the screen. It seems that George Lucas originally intended to reveal Princess Leia as the real chosen one in the climactic conclusion of his Star Wars sequels narrative. By the way, this is coming from We Got This Covered, so
This is I would take it with as big of a not a grain. I would take the whole salt shaker because that's what everybody is talking about today. This is coming from this book, so take that however you'll take it. This is an accurate quote.
Right, and they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones that had an article about this too. So
okay. As we've learned over the years, the creator had several treatments for a potential continuation of the Skywalker saga. These mostly involved a new generation of heroes who would work closely with legacy characters such as Luke, Leia, and Han to defeat a fresh threat. Of course, Disney has received a lot of hate and criticism over their handling of the sequel trilogy, but to their credit, most of what they did actually works in parallel with what Lucas originally envisioned. For one thing, these movies would depict the founding of a new Jedi Order by Luke Skywalker, not to mention a fallen son, whom we saw in the form of Ben Solo. According to Star Wars Archives Episode 1 through 3, the prequels, though, which compiles a set of interviews in the director's canceled trilogy, Lucas wanted Darth Maul to be the main villain of the story, as opposed to Sheev Palpatine or Supreme Leader Snoke. Additionally, the publication teases a twist for the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, with Leia being revealed as the chosen one.
Okay. First of all, Ryan, in your video, you even discussed it, and a lot of us have heard quotes from George where the story is about father, son, grandchild. Like, so this to me is like they're trying to either rewrite history or, just hope people don't know anything George has ever said in the past. I don't know. What do you think?
Listen, this book, we don't have the book released. We did just get screenshots effectively from it. It looks as though this is an interview with George, like George is talking. It's not like they're just writing down, these were George's thoughts. It's literal quotes from George. I'm not saying that Disney wouldn't go so far as to make those up. However, I also think that George Lucas is kind of crazy.
Yes.
He changes his mind all the time, even in movies that he made 20 years before. He will change things. So this doesn't line up with things we've heard more recently within the past couple years. Things like the story being focused in the microorganism level and talking about the wills and everything. When we did hear him say it's going to be about the father, the children, and the grandchildren. This story would seem more to focus on Leia and Leia rebuilding the New Republic. And when he says here that actually Leia ended up being the chosen one, that seems crazy to me. With the amount of times we have him on record describing how Anakin is the chosen one, and some people that say, "Oh, well, it was Luke," though he's like, "No, actually, no, it was Anakin. Anakin fulfilled the prophecy." It seems really weird for him to then say, "Oh, actually, because Leia created a government, she's the chosen one." That has to do with that Jedi prophecy.
I agree. That sounded weird to me.
Yeah.
Right. Elaine, let me ask you. I mean, bringing balance to the Force is what the prophecy was about. Destroying the Sith, bringing balance to the Force. How does being the Chancellor of a new Republic coexist with that? I don't understand. It makes no sense.
Yeah, the way he words it too, she's the Supreme Chancellor. That doesn't really sound like the way the New Republic was built on. So he's saying she's in control of everything. Like that doesn't sound like.
So she's the Emperor.
Everything's yeah. And I agree with Ryan like wholeheartedly about George Lucas's thoughts. Especially in regards to the prophecy, because he changed some things and he might have had maybe some story elements in mind, but I don't think he sounded like he was for sure. Like it didn't even sound like he was even serious about continuing with the sequel trilogy for the longest time. So now to see all these other things coming out that this is what he intended to continue the next trilogy of movies, it doesn't really seem to match up. But it just sounds odd to me.
Yeah, sounds like McClunky.
Right. Well, Steven, let me ask you.
Stop tinkering with it, George. Stop it.
Steven, they have, we've seen the treatment, like there is a version of his trilogy that's out there in the world, like the wills. It's all about the wills and how they affect, the world around them. They pretty much are the Force. Like, so it almost sounds like he's completely changing. If this is real, true, which I can't believe they would be lying, but he completely flipped his whole script on what this 9-episode journey would be.
Well, see, originally the wills were pre-op and now they're post-op.
Right.
Well,
thank you for that deep insight.
You're welcome, sir.
I think that there is a different explanation. I don't know when this interview was done. I suspect it was around 2010. This interview also delves into the fact that Darth Maul was going to be the main villain.
What?
Yes, that Darth Maul was going to be the main villain of the sequel trilogy, along with Darth Talon, bringing a character from the expanded universe into the movies, and who would be his apprentice and basically be his Darth Vader as of sorts.
Right.
Let me actually see if I can pull up. Here, I can actually pull it up if you want me to share my screen. I can show you the exact quote.
Please do.
Yeah, let me get it here.
Pull it out. We'd all love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
And
So he wanted to pull from Legends canon, but a different approach to it, because that's interesting.
Yes, he
Well, he did that
really
with
liked
the
the
prequels.
character of Darth Talon, and I'll go into why I think this may have changed.
Okay.
So he talks about the stormtroopers wanting to be stormtroopers forever. So they go to a far corner of the galaxy, start their own country and their own rebellion. There's a power vacuum, so gangsters like the Hutts are taking advantage of the situation, and there is chaos. The key person is Darth Maul, who has been resurrected in the Clone Wars cartoons. He brings all the gangs together. Was Darth Maul the main villain? Yes, but he's very old, and we have two versions of him. One is with a set of cybernetic legs like a spider, and then later he has metal legs, which is a bit bigger, more of a superhero. We did all this in the animated series. He was in a bunch of episodes. And when he says that he brings all the gangs together, I actually think that he decided to take some of these ideas and implement them into the end of the Clone Wars, because that's kind of what we see near the end of the Clone Wars is Maul is actually kind of infiltrating, is in charge of all these crime syndicates. Now,
kind of like what they put into Solo.
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe some of that ended up in Clone Wars potentially in the later seasons. Darth Maul trained a girl, Darth Talon, who was in the comic books. There should be another comma here, as his apprentice. She was the new Darth Vader, and most of the action was with her. So these were the two main villains. Maul eventually becomes the godfather of crime in the universe. As the Empire falls, he takes over. The movies are about how Leia, who else is going to be the leader, is trying to build the Republic. They still have the apparatus of the Republic, but they have to get it under control from the gangsters. That was the main story. This is what I mean by I feel like everything's changed, because we hear later on that it's all about this microbiotic will, or microbiotic level, the wills, the midichlorians, the Force itself. That doesn't seem like that would be involved in this main story.
Well, when was Lucasfilm was sold? What, 2012? Yeah. So you believe this is 2 years prior to that?
I do. And in 2011-ish, there was a video game pitched, a Darth Maul video game, and George Lucas wanted Darth Talon to be involved in it.
Ryan,
so I think that some of those ideas may have even gone into that as well. But this is all just guesswork from me, though.
Ryan, do you think that the desperate struggle to keep Darth Maul alive in canon is some of the problems, or is the source of some of the problems later on in the books and obviously in Clone Wars and several other places? Because I really feel like, his story was over after the first episode 1, and
he was never meant to be this fucking dude ever.
That's what I thought.
And I think that George, I think that there was so much backlash that he received. And one thing common among everybody was like, I wish we got to see more Darth Maul because he was really cool, even though his character is completely uninteresting. He's just a mystery box. You don't know anything about him, which is why people were able to create and write their own stories around who they thought Darth Maul was or was not supposed to be. And so he decided, I think, to bring him back because people are like, ooh, cool, he has a double-bladed lightsaber. When in reality, I think bringing him back really kills Death in the Star Wars universe in a lot of ways, and is a big mistake for them. But
I was wondering that.
I'll raise you a dyad.
I always wondered that if that's what they reasoned with bringing Palpatine back, because they brought Darth Maul back, who also fell down a pit, but it was also cut in half.
Yeah, and it's like I actually compare it a lot to the death of Superman, the death and return of Superman for DC Comics. And as as herald as that is, everybody knows that story, one of the best-selling comic runs of all time. One thing that had a negative impact is that they faked everybody out. They killed Death in comic books, because ever since that happened, dozens and dozens and billions and billions and billions of comic book characters have died and then come back to life, because you ruin the stakes at that point. So if you're going to tell me the motherfucker who got cut in half at the spine and fell kilometers down a shaft was able to survive because he was upset, and was
because he was upset.
I mean, when you put it like that,
The dark side is the pathway to many abilities.
Yeah, where's Count Dooku's floating head somewhere? You know, why is it, you know, why is he not able to come back? Why is this person not able to come back? And you know, Darth Maul, at the bottom line, he was an apprentice. He was not really that skilled. He was bred to be a fighter, but as far as you know, his attunement to the dark side, he wasn't really there. He was an apprentice. And I think that to bring someone back like that simply to please the fans is a big mistake, and that it ruins death in your galaxy in the future.
I mean, they shouldn't have killed him off in the first place. I mean, his character was
that was a critical mistake.
Yeah,
that was you know, and I think I bet you if you gave George truth serum, he would admit that he probably should have kept him around. I understand that Dooku was needed because of his, you know, his history and his, you know, connections, but Darth Maul was a dope character. I just remember the first time I saw him, it was great. And it makes you think, if he was able to survive being cut in half, you got to look at Qui-Gon and be like, what a bitch, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like at the end of the day, the three apprentices of Palpatine were all supposed to be sort of representative of Anakin, right? Yeah, so you know, you have the inherent rage that is Darth Maul. You have the fallen Jedi in Count Dooku who no longer trusts the system, and then you have the half machine, half man in Grievous. You know, so all of those were supposed to kind of you know, echo Darth Vader a little bit. I personally am fine with Maul dying. I think that I've read.
But keep him dead.
I've read so many great characters, and so many great characters in comic books that are fantastic villains, whether they be Force users or not. You can create other villains. You know, Darth Maul, I think that after the prequels, people were just looking for things to be like, what could have made it better? And a lot of them fell back on, wow, you know what? Duel of the Fates was like the coolest thing ever. Why didn't they keep him around?
But
it
wouldn't have been the coolest.
That's the trial. That's Obi-Wan's trial. Like his trial is, you know, killing Maul and you know, saving, you know, even when he could have lost all hope, you know, being able to have the fortitude to do that. That was his trial, and you're now revoking that because at the end of the day, he didn't do anything.
He didn't turn to anger to defeat him either. He didn't turn to anger to defeat him.
He cut Maul's dick off. I mean,
he did. And you know what? I want to apologize to the guys in the chat. Some of them can see us, some of them can't. I think there's people in the chat that can't hear or see us. So I want you to know I have been highlighting your comments, like, and now Maul has no dick. From
you don't
Gregory.
Think if they can't hear or see us.
Well, some can. Some can.
For the Helen Fellers in chat, we
blame
really
you too.
appreciate
It's not our fault.
Look, Ryan, some of us can't lose a few subs at a time. You know, I mean, we're not big time like you guys. Okay, I got to read every one of my comments.
Ryan, did you put captions in your videos yet, man?
Oh my God, I have captions in all my videos. Fuck that deaf person. I hate that person. If you guys don't know, there was a Sports Wars stream where some loser came in there who is like literally flagged our videos because they think they need captions. And
are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. And all of our videos have captions. I don't know what this person like. I get it. You're deaf. That doesn't mean you have to be dumb.
Does that mean you're an ist or a phobe?
Potentially. I don't know. I know that he told me that 13% of the population is hearing impaired. I don't know whether that's true or not, but
he could also just choose not to watch or listen or whatever.
Well, he can't choose not to listen. That's offensive, Jayne.
Right, Jayne. That's kind of messed up, actually.
Yeah.
That's not a choice. That's a life. He was born that way, most likely.
Gosh.
Damn.
But yeah,
sorry, everybody in the chat.
You didn't hear it, so.
Oh man, he probably typed up a really like aggressive braille letter to you and just sent it on its way. Oh man. Wow, we could be dicks to anybody. We're gonna end it probably here, guys. Yeah, right. Any last words on any of the topics we talked about? I kind of like just having a Star Wars theme one. That was fun. Does anybody have any last words about anything we read or the future of Star Wars? Anything? We'll start culture. Do you have something?
Oh yeah,
you're on video, so I thought you were special.
Oh no, I am special. Have you guys heard about the Gaming Lounge?
No, please let us know.
Oh yeah, the Gaming Lounge is my special show with my special friends about everything gaming, and it's tomorrow, so you guys all should show
Who's
up.
on that show?
It's myself and Kai and Angela Straven, and Ryan is supposed to be. Ryan, are you supposed to be there tomorrow?
I am. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to be there for the start. But I'll be there for the finish. That's the most important part anyway.
Because there seems to be some rumors that are coming out that everybody's going to get really very excited about, and not in a positive way, that we might be discussing tomorrow. So keep an eye out for your local listing.
Nice
I think
teaser.
it's on Angela Straven's channel tomorrow. So
Very nice teaser.
I only did that because Ryan is here. Ryan should be on camera too. We should get the handsome and the beautiful people on camera right now. Oh, there he is. Okay.
There he is.
Ryan.
Go ahead.
I appreciate it. All right. And we don't care if Scott's delayed for the next 8 minutes.
Right.
We're fine. Yeah. We'll just have a show.
Exactly. First off, where did he go? Oh, shit. My bad.
What an exit.
DoLiFiEd for $5. Darth Maul got cut off by Obi-Wan, and he still got more inches than me. At least that's what I saw on the Instagram post. Oh, yeah, that is true.
Funny story. That wasn't Darth Maul's dick. That was Boba Fett's.
No.
Yeah. That's why he posted it.
That was the Gagus? Holy shit.
Yeah.
He was banging his wife?
The actor who played young Boba Fett, Daniel Lloyd or so. I don't remember his name. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that person was screwing Ray Park's wife, and then he posted that up there. So pretty sure.
That's crazy.
And then John Talks put it on the internet.
Right, John Talks did. He destroyed his stream for it. Runner says it's on Kai's channel, he thinks, tomorrow night. So, guys, make sure you sub to Kai and all the guys that are on the panel with Culture Casino and the Gaming Lounge. I caught a couple of them. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. Anybody else want to finish up, or we'll just do our outros? It's up to you. And finally, people are starting to see the stream. So make sure you go back around and view it again. So I get more than, 7 views on this one. Thanks. I'm glad I had Ryan and her cookies on this one. Awesome. Anybody? Okay, great.
It went really well.
No, I had fun. I had a lot of fun. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. I got to tell everybody out there, it's not always easy. Like, you guys are, when your channels get above a certain level, and that's with you too, Nerd Cookies, it's not easy to drop everything to go on something you didn't plan. And dude, you didn't even wait a second. You just were like, I'm in, like, let's do this. Unlike, Drunk 3PO, you actually keep your promises, and I appreciate that. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And
well, I was so glad it worked out.
Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on my channel, Nerd Cookies, and on Twitter at Nerd Cookies. I cover news and lore about upcoming sci-fi and fantasy projects. So yeah, come check it out. And subscribe to everyone here, of course. You guys are great. It's always fun talking with you guys.
Well, just so you know, Nerd Cookies, you always have a seat at the table here. And so do you, Ryan. Let them know where they can find you, even though they're probably all sub to you already.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you for having me on. I really do appreciate it. We are all part of a big community here. Everybody gets invited to a lot of shit. And I try to do as much as I can while all still staying up with my channel and Sports Wars and Geeks and Gamers and Twitch and G&G Twitch and all of this other stuff. But it's always fun to come and hang out with you guys and talk. So if you don't know me, I'm Ryan Kinel. You can find me by searching my name, Ryan Kinel, or RK Outpost. I talk about Star Wars. I talk about video games. I talk about comics. And I talk about any of the woke nonsense that's going on out there. So come find me. You can also find me on Geeks and Gamers and all those other things that I mentioned. So thanks for having me.
Man, I thank you for coming, man. I feel like such a slacker now. Holy crap. Culture, Kai wants to let you know, at Culture Casino, I happened to show up in time to hear you misdirecting people for tomorrow. Never thought I'd say this. Good thing Runner was here. So just so you know that.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Runner.
And and to the great Miss Martin Muses, as always, she always gives me a beautiful rose, super sticker, every stream almost. And I appreciate anything anybody offers the channel. It really does help out. I promise you, by the new year, you will see a computer that can launch a spaceship. Hopefully my internet doesn't suck. Okay, go ahead, my friend. Culture Casino, the hair of the fandom menace. Let them know where they can find you.
One half of the haired menace, actually. Ord's Board, my brother in hair. I get to hang out with him on Sundays for Sunday hangs and video games. I'm magically everywhere, much like Ryan, or as often as I can be. Although I don't have someone with above average chasing around to get stuff done all day. Mm-hmm. But I do want to say Happy Veterans Day to all that served. Thank you very much for your service. We do absolutely appreciate everything that you've done for us in this country, and it's one of the reasons the flag is flying behind me. Thank everybody out there in the chat that hung around with us, even though most likely you only listened to the stream or got to see some other folks chatting. But thank you for all being here, however many of you there were, and however many of you are on the replay. So thank you all very much. Please subscribe to these lovely human beings. Go to Jayne's channel and watch as many of her videos as you can. Give her the watch hours that she truly deserves. And yes. In the video today that I did, I promoted her as well. I really want her to get her monetization because she truly deserves it. So check it out, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. God, you are good at that. I suck at kissing ass. But no, Culture always thinking about No, he does. He always thinks about everybody else. So Culture Casino, thank you very much. And Jayne, after those sweet, sweet words, and we all agree, go to Jayne's channel, go to her videos, and just hit play all, and just walk away if you have to. Jayne, where can they find you, and are you working on anything that they can start with?
Right, thanks, guys. Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube. I post weekly movie and television reviews, generally every Sunday at 6 Central, even though I'm starting to do a little bit more midweek. As well as some pop culture news and commentary. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jayne Theory, where I post which streams and whatnot I'll be doing here and there. Hope to see ya.
Thanks, Jayne. With a $4 super sticker, I don't know what it looks like, if anybody can tell me. DoLiFiEd, one of the
poop emoji.
Does great. It's a poop emoji?
Oh, wait, no, that's the $4 one. No, that's the
that's
coffee.
$4.
Coffee first.
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee
and
first.
Then what comes next? What comes next?
A turd.
You know what comes next.
The poop emoji. Guys, if you have not subscribed to DoLiFiEd, he is one of the Bounding Into Comics guys, but he has his own channel where he does like sometimes some solo streams. Usually they're in the morning where I am on the weekend, and they're great. He does a really great job. So thank you, my brother. And last but not least, Steven, put yourself on camera because I know you're saying you're having a great look day. You look
tired. I am tired, guys.
You look really old. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, man. Thank you guys for showing up tonight, and thanks. Subscribe to everybody on the panel. Appreciate all your support. YouTube is playing games tonight, so please go back, watch this whole video, catch up on all the shenanigans. Also, Rogue Entertainment from this point forward is going to be played on Jayne Theory's channel. We want to get her watch hours up, so we're going to be doing that. So check out Rogue Entertainment, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday on Jayne Theory's channel.
That's awesome.
And TR4, as usual, will be on my channel. I want to thank everybody for their support. The Phantom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion, is 80% funded. I got a little over 2 weeks left, so share the word if you could, or if you're not interested in that, there are many different people in this community that are producing wonderful products. Fatal J's got Ninja Flash coming out. Red Gaze is about to put out Sunsworn. He's about to go through fulfillment for that. Also, Drunk 3PO's got a book coming out. Get on the mailing list for that. Kai, wonderful book. Please go check that out on Amazon. I think it's available on. And so support independent creators. Please do that for your favorite 1 or 2 YouTubers or 3, that you guys watch every day, whether it be Scott or Ryan or Nerd Cookies or whoever it is. Share out their videos. It really does help. We don't have an industry to support us. We only have you, and we rise together. Thank you guys very much for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Wash your hands. Wash your ass. Peace.
Thank you, my man. Script Doctor, you're next. Oh, yeah, right. You never made it to the panel. Thanks for being in the chat at the very last minute. Really appreciate it, buddy. Love you, freaking Canadians. But you know who made it? Rennie A. Got here at My Nerdy Home, who we love, is there. Thank you for being in my chat. I'm sorry that YouTube screwed this. We're like now starting to climb in viewership. Maybe next time Ryan comes on, YouTube won't screw me that bad. But I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Elaine, I know Wednesdays are never good for you. So thank you for making the time. And the other three always have my back. So I appreciate that. I appreciate this amazing chat, this amazing community. Were you going to say something, Steven?
No, sir.
Okay. Then. Okay. Sorry about that. And I want to also say, shut up. I want to also say happy Veterans Day. I have a lot of friends that are, I know you said it, but it's my channel. I should say it too. I have a lot of friends that are veterans, and this is the one day. Yeah, I don't. I'm wearing it on my chest. America.
That looks like a Superman emblem.
Oh, I thought it was the same thing. Anyways, this is like the one day many of my friends, I work with a lot of people that are veterans, active military. This is the day they don't feel uncomfortable when you come up and say, thank you for your service. So please reach out to a veteran, past wars, current. They always told me Memorial Day is not for them. Those are for their brothers and sisters that were lost in wars. Today is theirs. So please make sure you, if you can, say thank you to a veteran, because we would not have the country we have right now without them. We wouldn't have a bunch of people spewing things. Anyways, I won't go into it. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. And I hope everybody in the chat has a great evening. And if you want to watch this on playback, really, you can. Go right ahead.
You got a new super chat, by the way.
Oh, I got a super chat. Damn, I was about to
Jesus,
say put a
pay attention, Scott.
I'm sorry, I'm so deep into my
Lady
People
Tauriel
actually do like you sometimes.
Well, you know what? I think they just feel sorry for me, but I'll take it. So we have Lady Tauriel saying, yeah, you're back. I guess we were gone for a while. Guys, check it on replay. Yeah, we're saying goodbye now, but check it on replay. Listen to
Now's the time we say goodbye to all our company. MIC, see you real soon. AEY. Why?
All right, everybody, have a great night.
God, this is shitty.
Hey, you know what? I'm not making you one now, you tool.
This thing is awesome. You did a great job.
Ads.
Are you wearing your sporkaroos?
Why is he,
This is pre-op.
Oh my god.
I feel like Steven's being such a jerk.
We're
Oh, the stream's
What
not,
the
oh my
fuck?
god. I'm sorry, I didn't end the stream. Oh no. There's